Like a perspective. Well, hello and good morning. We're having a little bit of coffee here. Couple of stories I wanted to talk about. Nothing famous, nothing, I shouldn't say famous because it is some famous people involved. But it's nothing fancy. Just to say good morning and see how everybody is doing. I hope you have your coffee because I definitely got mine. And, yeah. So, Sir Elton had gone out and said that he was about to, have another concert and he was going to do his farewell tour. Well, apparently his leg that was going to be in, the leg of the tour that was supposed to be there in Dallas, he canceled that. And I like Elton John. There's not a lot of, I like a lot of old rock, I should say, but I do like Elton John. And as far as his music is concerned, and he had to cancel. He had to cancel because, well, looks like poor old Elton had some issues here with, the old Siva. The old Siva. The old Siva's bugging the cat. So, what do you know about that? Let's look and see what's going on with the old Siva. And then I got a little bit of YouTube gossip news. Now, that's not good, but it is good, but it isn't good. Well, it's actually sad. But I just know now that everything is allegedly. Everything I say going forward will always be allegedly, even if I see it in the headlines. Okay? So that means that it would read something like this. Allegedly, Elton John tests positive for the SIVA and he cancels his Dallas concerts. Quote, I can't wait to see y'all soon. So Elton John has allegedly tested positive for the SIVA. The singer took to social media on Tuesday to share the news, and I like this cat. I really do like him. Anyway, it goes on and says, hi, everybody. I wanted to send you a message to let you know that I have contracted the SIVA. And so I've had to reschedule my shows in Dallas. The 74-year-old wrote on Instagram. Wow. 74. He says if you have tickets, you'll be contacted with the new dates really soon. It's always a massive disappointment to move shows. And I'm so sorry to anyone who's been inconvenienced by this. But I want to keep to myself and keep my team safe. There he is, 74. There he is, 74. I know a lot of people like to pick on people, for other reasons. But until people started telling me about what they do, in other settings, I really didn't want to know. And so therefore it allowed me to really like people, if that makes any sense. Good morning, Inger, and good morning, Marty Lauderdale. It allowed me to like people for the music that they made, the beats and the rhythm and the writing ability and all of that. And I like Elton, so it's sad. But now what's going to prompt me to make sure that I say allegedly before everything and anything, even if I get it out of the news, is what's going on here in this part of the world. And it's sort of a mishmash of weird feelings. What's going on? Let me sip my coffee. Excuse me. But what's going on that makes me feel weird? Well, let me finish reading about Sir Elton. Sir Elton. It says the British star canceled his Dallas farewell concerts set for Tuesday and Wednesday at American Airlines Center. I don't know who does his hair, but as a hairdresser, whoever it is, they're really, really good. Yeah, they're really good. I'm going somewhere. Please trust and believe. I'm not parking here for nothing. So anyway, it goes on to say, quote, it's with great regret. Say that, great regret together. It is with great regret that the farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, Yellow Brick Road. Do you see any of this? Okay. The American Airlines facility is where he's holding it, the concert. And it's the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. And he's got the Siva. Okay, probably it's just me. Probably just me. And anyway, he goes on to say that, it's with great sadness. I'm not going to be doing it, yada, yada. Postponement. Unfortunately and unfortunately for Elton, it says that he's fully vaccinated. Well, that was fortunate. I'm sorry. That came in handy. Fortunately, he's fully and boosted. So he's VB'd. He's VB'd. He's VB'd. And he's only experiencing mild symptoms, so that's good to know that he's not going to be, down for very long. The fans should hold on to their tickets as soon as they are honored. They will change the date and time, and all of that stuff will be good. So the Piano Rock Legends Farewell Tour was originally postponed in March of 2020 due to the SIVA. And in October, John told Today that he was looking forward to spending more time with a person. Okay. All right. Yellow Brick Road. Follow the yellow brick road to Oz. Follow the yellow brick road to Oz. Huh. Really? Seriously? Yep. There is, and I'm sort of delaying even reading this story, but I'm going to just go right into it. Cardi B wins a defamation lawsuit. Yes, she did. Against YouTuber that I know and think is a very nice person. We have different styles and different approach to things. She's a daredevil of sorts, in that she's a real daredevil. She's a real daredevil. But Cardi B just sued her and won. So allegedly, Cardi B sued her and won. Allegedly. Remember, I just said everything now going forward is allegedly, and I don't care who you are or what anybody says, it's alleged. And this is really actually mind-blowing to me. This right here is like really, really mind-blowing. Again, because, of course I know this nice lady, and we don't hang out. But anyway, the story goes on to say that Cardi B wins her defamation lawsuit against YouTuber Tasha K. The Grammy Award-winning rapper won a lawsuit Monday against YouTuber Tasha K for defamation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, and was awarded a 7-figure sum in damages. Let me park the car right there. Tasha has a lot of subscribers. She does. Here on this platform, I think I have 3,400 subscribers. And my sister built the other channel, her Headlines with a Voice, up to over 110,000. One video that I did just recently was up for it was up for, I looked at the analytics. It was literally up for 7 days. And I had made $4 off of it. And it had, it's over on her channel. And so it made, I think the amount of views it had was over 2,000 views. So I made $4,000 for a video that took me 2 weeks to make. I had to do the research. I'm going somewhere. I had to do the research. I had to pull together these different points and different stuff. Then I had to make sure that it was all right, and that I had to do the voiceover over and over again until they got perfectly right. And then I had to pull all the photos. I had to get all of the I had to get all of the thumbnail credits, all the credits and everything. I had to compile it all together. In other words, this one particular video that I just looked at the analytics for I think I got like $4.67. Tasha K has over 1 million subs. She would have to make a whole lot of work to make decent money. She makes crazy money. But let me tell you something. They are suing this girl, and she just won with Cardi B. They have it listed as over 1 some odd million. It's literally close to $4 million that this YouTuber is going to have to pay. And they're still counting. So the punitive damages and all that information came in yesterday there in Atlanta. And yeah. So my point, she is not a billionaire. She's a YouTuber, which is why I say from now on, everything's allegedly. Everything is allegedly. So it does say that the defamation was invasion of privacy. It was also intentional infliction of emotional distress, and she was awarded a 7-figure sum in damages. Cardi B, whose real name is Belcalis Malens Amaranza, allegedly, was targeted by Latasha Tasharina Kibi, Tasha K, who goes by the name of Tasha K, in a malicious campaign to damage and destroy her reputation among her fans, allegedly, according to a 2019 lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court, Northern District Court of Georgia. Okay. So, yeah. Kibi published multiple false and defamatory statements, allegedly. Statements about the plaintiff, including that the plaintiff was a prostitute, that the plaintiff was a user of cocaine, and that the plaintiff had herpes. The lawsuit read, which was filed against Tasha K and KB Studios, LLC. Making and publishing statements and campaign of harassing videos, including a defamatory video, defendants were intending to cause plaintiff emotional distress, the lawsuit stated. Also claimed that Cardi B suffered severe humiliations and mental anguish. A jury on Monday awarded Cardi B $1.5 million. That's just in the punitive damages. And $1 million for general damages, such as pain and suffering or reputational injury. And $1,338,753.40 in litigation expense, court papers show. She also was awarded $250,000 in medical expenses, and both parties agreed to reduce that to $25,000. And I believe the reason why they agreed to reduce it to $25,000 was because she had only suffered, I think it was allegedly. It shows that there was $10,000 worth of actual medical. Here is my point. My goodness. This is unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. First of all, I just, I remember watching a couple of those shows one time, and I thought to myself, ooh, that doesn't feel safe. That feels a bit risky. I remember thinking that. I remember feeling like, yikes, that's a bit risky to talk about, those stars or whatever. Yeah. I remember sitting there one night while she was going in on this young lady, and I do remember feeling like, oh, ouch, that's not nice. Oh, and it was not even a matter of me tuning into the show. It was more like I got an alert, saw that she was on, flipped over there, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, cool, let's watch. And then when I heard she was gone, I was like, yikes, oh, that hurts, ouch. I frankly, listen, as far as musicians go, I really do like, I like a varied amount of I like a lot of different people. You guys know that. I like a lot of, because sometimes I'll put stuff in the, what What is this thing here? Stuff here. Sometimes I'll put things on the community tab and I'll see people say, well, Sting was this or that. Well, this person was this or that. And I get it. I do. I understand. And I know how you feel. I really do. I totally get it. But for me, I just like good music. And a lot of times if I can hear something as dark and nefarious, of course, I won't listen to it. However, I will say that there have been a lot of there's been a lot of good music that I know a lot of people flip out over, and I know it's, I shouldn't say that it's not with good reason, because there is. However, I just choose to listen to decent music, and the garbage I don't. So I don't have anything against this young lady. I just thought that it was pretty deep for her to continue. Now, I do want to talk about a story that I put up over on Headlines. When we were live the other day, remember we were talking about the monkeys. And it was a barrel of monkeys. It was a barrel of monkeys. I had seen a picture. I had seen a story, and I liked the story. I thought the story was good. But then I got another story from a friend of the chat, and that story was even better than the story that I had. So I decided that I would do that story that the friend of the chat sent me. And I'm going to read that one because, whoa, I thought that was a good one. All right. So apparently this lady who had the ability to help the folks in the truck, the one who, pulled over and helped everybody. Well, apparently they've given her the rabies test and given her the rabies medication because, unfortunately, they think, could have been exposed to rabies. Now, I don't know. But I do know that there are some stories out there that say that she got a little uncomfortable and started feeling bad and ill, and that they had given her a shot. So there's a lot of stories in the Naked City. There's a lot of stories. I don't know which one of them are, close to true or not true. Heck, it could all be allegedly. Allegedly. I'm telling you guys, I'm saying allegedly for everything. Allegedly for everything. Let's see. Before I go to that story, the monkey story, I do want to do this one because I thought, gee whiz, isn't this mean? So I'm going to do this one first, and then we're going to go into them. We're going to end the show with a bang. We're going to end the show with a bang. So here we go. Now, a patient was refused a heart transplant because he was not vaccinated. 31-year-old father has been removed from the heart transplant list at a Boston hospital because he is refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and his family said. Dr. DJ Ferguson's family say that he was first on the list to receive a transplant at Brigham and Women's Hospital, but no longer is eligible because of his status, CBS Boston reported. Story goes on to say that his father, David Ferguson, said, his son, who was fighting for his life in the hospital and is in desperate need of a transplant, doesn't believe in the CBER. Quote, it's kind of against the basic principles. He doesn't believe in it. It's a policy they are enforcing, and so because he won't get it, they took him off the heart transplant list. This is what the father told the outlet that put the story together. He says, my son has gone to the edge of death to stick to his beliefs. It says guns, and has been pushed to the limit. Ferguson has 2 children and is expecting a 3rd child with Heather as his partner, according to a GoFundMe page set up for him. Brigham and Women's Hospital, which is a Harvard teaching facility, said research had shown that transplant patients were at much higher risk of dying from it compared to non-transplant patients. And this is him. See, we know somebody who can put a whole new heart in you. Can put a whole new heart in you. Hallelujah. That's sad. It goes on to say that we do everything that we can to ensure that a patient who receives a transplanted organ has the greatest chance of survival. Our Mass General Brigham Hospital system requires several CDC recommendations. Recommended vaccines, including the COVID-19 vaccine, and the lifestyle behaviors for transplant candidates to create both the best chance for a successful operation and to optimize the patient's survival after transplantation, given that their immune system is drastically suppressed. Patients are not active on the wait list without this. The hospital's policy requiring the recipients to have the COVID-19 vaccine is in line with many other transplant programs across the U.S., the spokesperson added. And this is him right here. It's terrible. It's terrible. This is awful. It's awful. It's something that is not even approved until 2023. It's not finished with the clinical trials until 2023, and this poor man has to suffer. He has to suffer. Okay, I said it. Okay, I said it. That's what I said. This is sad. It's really sad. It's just not a good thing. It's not a good look either. It's not a good look, America. It's just not a good look. But that's what we're doing now. I was putting together a lot of different information about this type of stuff, and I just stopped because it started getting me really, really, really angry. I was getting really upset about it because to me it just feels like, why are we getting ourselves in this big tizzy about this whole entire situation, preventing people from doing things, stopping people from doing things? I still got a landline. Why are we doing that? This is a person's life. So basically, you're saying that it's okay to let this person die. Pretty much. You see who God is now? They're supposed to be God now. Yeah, they are. That's pretty much essentially what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Yep. That's what they're saying. I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. All right, let's get into the good part. All right, so here we are. So here's what I wanted to talk about. It's more like a little bit of a follow-up for the story that we had the other day dealing with the monkeys. All right, the witness at the scene of the CDC's, there you go, witness at the scene of CDC lab monkeys crash has developed symptoms. This, as you may already know, you remember we just did this. Well, this goes a little bit deeper because I think we all sort of knew that this is what was going to happen. Michelle Fallon is living a nightmare and she's ready to put that nightmare on record. The Danville woman is now experiencing symptoms believed to be related to her close encounter with the monkeys. When the trailer they were riding in collided with a dump truck and unloaded their cages all over Route 54 and I-80 on Friday afternoon. The monkeys were destined for an unidentified Centers for Disease Control lab in the Midwest. Now, the following day, Fallon developed a cough and something that resembled pink eye. And by Sunday, she was visiting the medical center emergency room where infectious disease doctors were consulted. Fallon has since received her first of 4 preventative rabies shots, as well as a prescription for a 14-day course of, it looks like, Valaclavir, cyclovir. I know that's, okay, I think it's Acyclovir, because I know what a cyclovir is, because that's what I use for my spine with this thing that I got anyway. They are these little bumps that sit on the spine. Anyway, so it goes on to say the stay-at-home mom who shared that she was fully vaccinated and received her booster was also tested for the But the result says that it was negative at the emergency room. Fallon is still processing the sequence of events that unfolded on Friday. She pulled over to check on the condition of the accident victims, but she said that they were more concerned about press coverage of the incident. The driver of the truck hauling the monkeys, identified in a press release from Pennsylvania State Police as Cody M. Brooks, 31 years of age, of Keystone Heights, Florida, even went so far as to put his hands on the camera of a local press enterprise reporter. Quote, he was very upset. And Fallon said that he was very panicked, that he was in a panic. Brooks, the passenger, Daniel Atkins, 59, from Florida as well, required transport to the medical center for injury. Now, many questions remain unanswered for Fallon, like, what are these monkeys possibly infected with? And why wasn't the vehicle marked indicating that it was carrying potentially biohazard contents? Why were 3 monkeys that fled instantly euthanized and not captured? And what did the CDC tell her doctor to test for? These are all the questions. These are very good questions. Very, very good questions. She wants to know the answers. I hope that she gets them. I don't know that she will. But let's read on. Nothing forewarned Fallon that she was putting her health at risk. It was only after her risky encounter when a CDC representative who appeared on the scene. They appeared on the scene. Whoa, wait a minute. Just pop up. Just pop up. Just so happened to be around the corner. I just so happened to be around the corner and I heard. Okay, so the CDC person popped up on the scene, appeared on the scene, advised her to watch for symptoms and to alert her primary care doctor, she said. The CDC at Pennsylvania Department of Health would be in touch. Here's some letters down below, so we're going to get to those. Quote, this has been a nightmare. I had no idea doing a good deed like this could get me a rabies shot and put me in this situation. Next time, you just need to just drive on by. That's sad. 911 is what you do from now on. You dial 911 and then you keep going. That's what you do. Do you realize that's what you do? It says Fallon was simply showing compassion. She told the trailer driver that he's in Danville. We take care of people. Now, she's the one needing. I'm sorry. The writer is wrong for that one. Now she's the one needing care. Now, so apparently she told the driver, you're in Danville. You're in Danville. And we take care of people. And I think that's a sweet thing. I think that's really sweet that she is the type of person to say that to this poor gentleman. But the problem that I have with the entire picture is, I don't know if any of this, okay, allegedly, I feel like some of this is a bit outbreakish. I mean, a bit Dustin Hoffman-ish, you know, a bit Cuba Gooding Jr.-ish, a bit Cuba Gooding-ish. All right. All right. Yeah, I do. I feel like that's what this is. It's just too much. This is too much. Who could believe this? The story is it's gigante. It's so gigantic. It's so big. So now it goes, dear first responder, you are receiving this letter because you responded to a vehicular accident on Interstate 80 near Danville, Pennsylvania on January 21st, 2022. One of the vehicles involved was transporting a shipment of non-human primates. Non-human primates? Wow. That had been imported from Mauritius earlier that day. Non-human primates and humans are naturally susceptible to many of the same diseases, and under Section 361 of the Public Health Service Act, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has established regulations for the importation of NHPS. These regulations, which can be found in the 42 CFR, include specific requirements for handling imported non-human primates including personal protective equipment for individuals who are within 5 feet of the non-human primate crates. Workers who come within the 5 feet of the imported non-human primates must wear disposable or NIOSH approved N95 respirators and either face shields or protection. So this poor lady had none of this. She had none of this. It goes on to say that please be aware that the surviving monkeys will be quarantined and monitored for infectious disease for at least 31 days before they are released. Now, this is why I cry BS. Because part of it says that they were coming from the airport, and they were coming from Mauritius. So if you're on that little bitty small island of Mauritius that's way away from the mainland in Africa, did you pick them up and they had disease and you transported them here? Or did you pick them up, you transported them, and then they got ill because you did something to them, and then you took them where you were headed? Do you see where the story sounds a little flawed to me? Because at first they say that they just got here from the airport. But now you're saying, if you feel something, if you're sick, here's my card, give me a call. You feel what I'm saying? Something ain't right. Something is definitely not right. No, they were not all killed. They weren't all killed. They said that they had to euthanize a handful of them, but that there were some of them that they had that they still had a hold of, according to what we just read. Now I have to look a little bit dig a little deeper. But the point that I'm making is the story is changing every few minutes, because if you're coming from the airport and you are going to another area, how did you have time to get infected? How did they have time to get infected? Yeah, now this poor lady, everybody, her neighbors better watch her. Watch her. Be careful and look out for her. Keep your eyes on her. Help her if you can, folks. Help her if you can. Please be aware that the surviving monkeys will be quarantined and will be monitored for infectious disease for at least 31 days before their release. We will contact the Pennsylvania State Department of Health and the Pennsylvania State Police in the event that any of the non-human primates become ill during the quarantine period. If you were within 5 feet of the non-human crates without respiratory and eye protection, monitor yourself for signs of illness, including fever, fatigue, cough, diarrhea, and vomiting. If you become ill during the 31-day quarantine period until February 21st, 2022, then you should immediately report to your physician that you had exposure to monkeys and notify the Pennsylvania State Department of Health. Thank you. And then it's signed by the Division of Global Migration and Quarantine of the CDC. Fallon said that there were other motorists who stopped at the scene, and Fallon could not identify those people, but suspected that some might have been put at risk. The email from the PADOH indicated that efforts would be made to track them and to track them down with the assistance of police. So y'all ain't even got them? Do you guys see where this is going? Those who believe that they may have who've had contact with the monkeys are asked, per the CDC later, to seek medical attention. This is not good. This makes the best way to write your own story, your own narrative. This makes the best way to give an excuse to something. It says 3 of the monkeys who fled from the scene were euthanized. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals has since issued a statement on this incident, indicating that the organization has filed a complaint with the United States Department of Agriculture, Director of Animal Welfare Operations, asking him to investigate the treatment of these monkeys. They report that the USDA has confirmed that it's investigating. That's terrible. Terrible. Absolutely awful. It is. This is sad, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This is going to be a skit. This is actually this is laying the groundwork for a, what do you call it? For a movie. This is laying the groundwork for a screenplay. It is. It is already laying the groundwork for a screenplay. And she's going to wake up in the morning and turn into something else. Allegedly, this is just a joke. She'll be waking up one morning, rolling around, and her husband will be looking for her, and it'll be something else in the bed. It won't be a human, it'll be something else. I mean, you could see this. You could see this. This is just waiting for a movie, a writer to come and do, like, I don't know, Outbreak 2. Yeah, Outbreak 2 with Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, that's what this could be. It could be Outbreak 2. This is creepy. This is creepy. Yep. Just stop experimenting on all of them. Rachel, you're absolutely right. Just stop it. Stop it, I say. Poor little animals. The little dogs. Remember the dogs? The little doggies story that we... Whew. I can already hear it. The sky's falling. Woof, woof. We're all gonna die if we don't embrace Build Back Better. I think that's terrible. I think it's awful. I mean, what are we thinking? What are we truly and honestly thinking here? I mean, what's really, really going on, right? Yeah. So let's see what else we got here. We got some more good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Let's see. What else do we have? Ooh. What? You sent this early this morning. I think I'm gonna need a co-host to do these morning shows with me. I don't know how I should go about it, but I should figure out a way. Plastic snowfall in the Alps. Huh. Let's get into that. That sounds interesting. I don't know how we should go about choosing somebody to come up and just help me every now and then. We'll just banter lightly with one another. We'll just laugh, talk, crack jokes, have fun, that stuff. Yeah. So here it is. And Arimanima. Let's see. Alrighty, here we are. It says plastic snowfall in the Alps. Let's check this out. Let's see what they're talking about. In a new study, EMPA researcher Dominic Brunner, together with colleagues from the Urtic University and the Australian Central Institute for Meteorology and the Geophysics, is investigating how much plastic is trickling down on us from the atmosphere. According to the study, some nanoplastics travel over 2,000 kilometers through the air. According to the figures from the measurements, about 43 trillion miniature plastic particles land in Switzerland every year. Wow. Researchers still disagree with the exact number, but according to the estimates from the study, it could be as much as 3,000 tons of nanoplastics that cover Switzerland every year. From the remote Alps to the urban lowlands, these estimates are very high compared to other studies, and more research is needed to verify these numbers. The study is uncharted scientific territory because the spread of nanoplastics through the air is still largely unexplored, and the result of Brunner's research is the most accurate record of air pollution by nanoplastics ever made. To count the plastic particles, Brunner and his colleagues have developed a chemical method that determines the contamination of the samples with the mass spectrometer. And extreme conditions is the next subheading, but it goes on to say that the scientists studied a small area of an altitude of 3,106 meters at the top of the mountain. And I think the mountain's name is Or Sonoblik in the Hohe Tauern. National Park in Australia, and the Observatory of the Central Institute of Meteorology and the Geodynamics. And geodynamics has been located here since 1886. The observatory is run by meteorologists and the Arctic researcher Elke Ludwig. Since research began here in the late 19th century, the observatory has been non-operational for 4 days. That's all. That's it. Only non-operational, just 4 days. The research station also served as the base for the study on the spread of the nanoplastics in remote areas. Every day, and in all weather conditions, scientists remove a part of the top layer of snow around a marker at 8 a.m., and then they carefully store it. The contamination of the samples by the nanoparticles in the air on the scientist's clothing was a particular challenge in the laboratory, and the researchers sometimes had to remain motionless when a colleague handled an open sample. So basically, plastics out there, nanoplastic. So where's the nanoplastic coming from? Is this story as I'm fumbling over my words and trying to pronounce these foreign words? Is any of this information going to come to me? Sips my coffee slow. I hope it does. The origin of the tiny particles was traced with the help of the European wind and weather data. The researchers could show that the greatest emissions of nanoplastics into the atmosphere occurs in densely populated urban areas. About 30% of the nanoplastic particles measured on the mountaintop originate at a radius of 200 kilometers, mainly from cities. However, plastics from the world's oceans apparently also get into the air via the spray of the waves. Around 10% of the particles measured in the study were blown onto the mountain by wind and weather over 2,000 kilometers. Some of them are from the Atlantic. Now, it goes on to say that nanoparticles in the bloodstream. It is estimated that more than 8,300 million tons of plastic have been produced worldwide to date, and 60% of that is now it's waste. The waste erodes through the weathering effects and the mechanical abrasion from the macro to micro and nanoparticles. But discarded plastics are far from the only source. Everyday use of plastics, such as packaging and clothing, releases nanoplastics. Particles in the size range are so light that their movement in the air can best be compared to gases. Besides plastics, there are all kinds of other tiny particles, from Sahara sand to brake pads, and the world is buzzing through the air as abrasion. Wow. It is as yet unclear whether the air conditions or the kind of air pollution poses a potential health threat to humans. Well, of course it does. Nanoparticles, unlike microparticles, do not end up in the stomach. They are sucked deep into the lungs through respiration, where their size may allow them to cross into the blood-brain barrier, pardon me, y'all, and enter the human's bloodstream. The reason why I think I said blood-brain is because I'm thinking that's where it's going. Maybe not into any other part, but it's definitely going into the brain. Whether this is harmful or even dangerous, however, it remains to be researched. No, it's going into the brain. It's going from the lungs. It's going into the brain. It's going in a lot of places. And the part that gets me, and I always say this, oh, you get me with this, climate this or climate that. The reason why I feel the way that I do is because you make everything with plastic. Everything. There's nothing made anymore, it feels like, with glass. We used to get all of our milk in glass. And, we would get our washing powder and stuff like that was in a box when I was a little girl. Cardboard, biodegradable really easily. But I think that the problem I've got right now is the fact that it looks as if they don't really give a rip about that. It's, make everything you want to make, put it all in plastic. And then, if you remember what they did there in California, and that was that they started arresting people who were passing out straws working at the restaurant. Is that not amazing? Yeah. So if the person was, wow, thanks for this story. I just got this. Whoa, thank you. Huh. So anyway, so the deal is you make all this stuff, you put everything in plastic, plastic. Then you write us like Broncos and say, we gotta save the environment. Let's stop doing this. Let's stop the poison. They threw those people right there in the jail, in the pokey. They put them in the pokey because they were passing out straws. And people got upset because they didn't want them to have straws anymore there in San Francisco and all up north, Northern California, which has a totally different problem. They got their own issue that has nothing to do with the plastics. But nonetheless, they made it a law where you could not give out any plastic, and people were passing out plastic straws. Some people got arrested. Some people got in trouble or fined, and it's a hot mess. But here you have large amounts of plastic being put everywhere. And I would have to say that y'all made us in a very resilient way, because they really are trying their hardest. But for some, it ain't working. The next story that we're going to read is about two men that were arrested in New York, but then they were unarrested. They were set free. They had a dream. Sounds like they had a dream. We have a new member, Mr. Leslie. Thank you, M. Leslie. Is M. Leslie? Hey, Ronnie, man. Is M. Leslie, is that a gentleman or a lady? I have to ask these questions because we never get to hug each other's necks and we never get to see each other's faces. And unless you have a name like, Betty, I don't know. But thank you, M. Leslie. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. And anybody else that would like to join, come on down. M is for Matthew. Go ahead on, brother. I knew you were a guy. M. Leslie. Thank you, Matthew. I like that name, Matthew. All right, look, you guys, we got another story here because I just want to ask some more questions. And I like to just chill in the morning, Ronnie. I do. I just like to chill. It's nothing major. It's just we're chilling. That's all. We're just chilling, doing our thing. That's it. So it says that two men were arrested and released after a home invasion in Elmira Heights. All right? Elmira Heights. This is New York. Gurpinder Singh and Mr. Thomas Ogden. Okay? It says the police officers responded to a reported home invasion at a home on Scottwood Avenue in Elmira Heights on January 21st. The residents of the home showed police a video of two men going inside and walking from room to room. A Facebook post also by the resident brought tips to Elmira Heights police, who were able to identify and charge the 66-year-old Thomas Ogden of Aaron and 28-year-old, really bad in the face looking 28-year-old, Gurpinder Singh of Lowman. This is 28. Let me let you see it really good. That's 28. Looking all of 40 in the face. So this gentleman looks his age. But this is 28. Whew. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. All right. Both men were charged with second-degree criminal trespass and released on appearance tickets. They are scheduled to appear in Elmira Heights Court at a later date. Who does that? Who does that? You come on in, you walk around, and we just let you go. That's it. Come on in, walk around in the house, snoop around, go from room to room, and we just let you go. Now, I will say this much, that there is something afoot. And I was working on a story, ironically, that deals with all of the prisons that they're closing there. Gathered a lot of information from the same source that sent this. Gathered a lot of information about all of the prisons there in New York that they have that are now sitting just vacant, or that should be finished moving everybody in the month of March, right? They should be done moving everybody by March, putting them into smaller places. Yeah, putting them into other prisons is what they'll be doing. Okay. But I believe that they're waiting to put people in these prisons. That's what I believe. I believe that when all of these places are, finished and done, yeah, that's where people are going. That's what I think. Okay, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I said it. That's where they're putting people. They're putting people there. They're emptying them all out, and that's where they're going. Yep. And so I don't think that they're trying to add to anything else, unless whose house. Let's separate these conversations. The first thing is, yes, I do believe that's what they're going to do. They're going to stick a lot of people over there. A lot of people are going to be going, and they're not going to be people who are criminals. I really honestly think that this reminds me so much of Bane. This reminds me of Bane. It does. It does. You're letting all the criminals out. Letting all the criminals out. For the people to come in. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It reminds me of Batman. That's what it reminds me of. For the people. I'm going to break your back, Batman. That's what he said. And I think that's what they're doing. I'm not tripping. I know that it's a reason for you to open up all of these places like this. And they've been dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping for the past couple of years, making these places nice and empty, saying, oh, well, we don't know what we're going to do with it yet. But yet and still, you guys do have those laws on the books that you have not necessarily followed through with, because you see people are going off. And because as long as people are going off, you're not going to do it, because we'll know exactly what you're trying to do. So I submit, keep going off. Keep going off, keep reading it, keep talking about it, keep saying something, because that's exactly what they're doing. But why are you letting people like this go? That doesn't make sense. So basically, you're not going to feel safe. You're not going to feel secure. You can't feel safe or secure, because these cats are literally letting the letting the bad guys go. Huh? Yeah. It's like the catch and release deal. Catch and release, like you take somebody and they go fishing, they find what they're looking for, and then they let it go. There's something wrong with this picture. There's a lot wrong with this picture. It really is. Catch and release. Okay? So, if you remember in the movie Batman, what happened was what? What had happened was they flipped it. He got rid of all of the popos and let all the bad guys out. That's what I mean when I say Bane. That's what I mean. For the people. Yep, the lunatics are taking over the asylum, but they're taking over the streets. The lunatics took over the asylum. They did. This place would be the asylum. Whoo! All right. Now, here goes some creepiness. And why do I say that it's some creepiness? Because, well, I did a story not long ago on a supercomputer that was in, Florida. It's at actually one of the universities out there. It's the University of Florida. And so what had happened was there in University of Florida, they got this huge computer. Now, NVIDIA is the company that helped them out, right? Well, this next story comes from my assistant and source of wonderful information, because she knows how my brain works, and well, she just gives me the stuff that matches me, and I love her for it. Now look at this. New Meta and NVIDIA supercomputer has terrifying potential. Comes from Digital Trends, written by Monica J. White. And it was published yesterday. So Meta, formerly Facebook, has just announced that it's working on a supercomputer with unprecedented artificial intelligence powers. A collaboration with NVIDIA, the computer is said to one day be able to learn from trillions of examples. Hold on, let me move this cell phone, because for whatever reason, it bugs my chest now. From trillions of examples, the supercomputer features mind-boggling amounts of power, and this could be a fantastic thing for Meta's metaverse efforts. But are there any downsides to the creation of this, quote, AI beast, the author asks the question. Both Meta and NVIDIA announced the ongoing progress on the supercomputer in the respective blog posts, dubbed the Air Research Supercluster, or the RSC for short. Meta has stated that the RSC is among the fastest AI computers built to date, but it's still working in progress. By the time that it's fully built, it'll be around the mid-2022. It will become the world's fastest supercomputer. Wow. And I say wow because I know the speed of the one that I did the story on that is down there in Florida. All I got to say is yikes. Yikes. Oh, this is my kind of story, but I'm here for it. Let's go. Whether RSC will truly be the fastest such machine in the world or not, it's impossible to deny that it's equipped with mind-boggling power and potential. According to Meta, the company set out in 2020 with the goal of creating a research computer capable of learning and training models with more than 1 trillion parameters. RSC is said to one day be able to work on data sets as large as an exabyte. Most of us have never heard of an exabyte, and no wonder. 1 exabyte adds up to 1 billion gigabytes of data, which Meta says is the equivalent of 36,000 years of high-quality video. The best SSDs with 2 terabytes of storage suddenly seem tinier than a grain of sand. The Meta and NVIDIA supercomputer is powered by 760 NVIDIA DGX A100 systems, which house 6080 NVIDIA A100 graphic cards. Ooh, that's some information. According to NVIDIA, this supercluster of GPUs is capable of delivering 1,895 petaflops of TensorFloat 32, or TF32 performance. The computer is not quite ready, but it's getting there. NVIDIA has announced that during the course of the year, almost 10,000 GPUs will be added for a total of 16,000, which may result in up to 5 exaflops of AI performance. RSC sounds like a true monster of a computer, but what does Meta really need it for? The company lists some of the possible use cases in its blog post. The goal of the supercomputer is to assist Meta's AI team in building a new and improved AI model. These new models would be able to translate hundreds of languages in real time, allowing people from all over the globe to seamlessly work or play together. The tools would be helpful in analyzing a various amount of content across Meta's family of apps, moving harmful entries without harmful assistance, it says. Wow. Wow. D-Wave is nothing. And D-Wave is like out of style now. Believe it or not. The D-Wave computer has nothing on any of the new stuff. Because computers and all that stuff change so often. The stuff changes so frequently. It does. It changes so frequently. It does. And because it changes so frequently, now the D-Wave Quantum is just done. It's nothing anymore. It's nothing anymore. Oh, you put in the Cash App address and put the wrong one. Okay. There's Spotify. Whose address did you give? You gave some. I see your messages here. Yes, if you guys would like to give, I would appreciate that. Yeah, that is nice. I see that they're trying here. Ronnie says, oh boy, I posted the wrong Cash App address. Well, I know it wasn't your Cash App because you don't even have that. I know you didn't put up your info because you don't even have one of those. He's like a real old spirit. He's like an old man. He doesn't believe in any of that stuff. Okay. All right. So, yes, but I appreciate anything that you guys do for me, really. And if you do want to send me a Cash App, it goes directly to me and it goes directly to the grocery store. So if you give anything that's in a PayPal, if you give anything that's in a grocery store, it gets accounted for as far as tax purposes does, but it also goes directly to the grocery store, or it goes directly to, to do something, to take care of something here at home. It goes maybe to one of the grandkids' shoes or something, because this is my job. And so basically you guys are primarily quasi my employer. Quasi. So anything I get it from you all. But anyway, thank you for that, you guys. But yeah, as it relates to D-Wave computer, D-Wave is a quantum computer. However, it has nothing on this new NVIDIA research. It has nothing to do with the NVIDIA. The new NVIDIA stuff is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I will tell you right now. Let me see if I can find the story that I did with, let me see if I can dig over there and show you. We were doing it. What channel was that on? Or was it either, it was, what was the topic? I know that we were dealing with the new computer. Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, I know exactly where it is. Let me find it. And then you guys could see that. Here. I think it was back here. Well, let's look at the videos and you'll see it. Yeah, but yeah, it has nothing on that. That computing system is off the chain. And NVIDIA does, of course they make a lot of that's what they do. They make computers. But NVIDIA is pretty amazing when it comes to the stuff that they can do and the stuff that they do. I called this video The Replacement. That's what I called it. I called this video The Replacement, and it aired on Headlines with a Voice. So here we go. Let you guys see it, because this is what they did in Florida. And that's why I was like, wow, gee willikers, they did that. So that means that it is really, really a big deal. Here you go. Let's see. Let's pull it back here. And I hope I have the volume up. The University of Florida recently turned on the 8th most powerful supercomputer in higher education and the 22nd most powerful supercomputer in the world. And it also added 100 new AI-focused faculty to the already several hundred who are engaged in AI. Why? It's a complete transformation of higher education, built on artificial intelligence as a core competency. Quote, "We're doing AI in medicine, AI in drugs, AI in agriculture, AI in business." This comes from Dr. Joseph Glover, Provost and Senior VP of Academic Affairs. He continues, "The College of Business just made AI a required introductory course for their entering freshmen. We believe that this is going to be a transformational initiative for the University of Florida. We think that this is where higher education is going to inevitably go," close quote. The machine is a room-scaled computer that chews through 1.1 megawatts at full capacity and is called the HyperGator AI. It's built with 291,024 cores using 148 NVIDIA DGX systems and 1,120 NVIDIA A100 processors, which are optimized for AI operations. When running, it chews through calculations at 17,200 teraflops per second, peaking at 21,314.7 teraflops per second. For comparison, a PlayStation can hit 1.84 teraflops, and the Xbox Series X can do 12 teraflops. And in supercomputing, speed matters. The University of Florida has already used HyperGator AI to analyze about 1 billion words of medical records from the past decade in its hospital system. The goal? Find hidden patterns and medically valuable insights. Preliminary results are promising, says Glover, but the plan is intentionally cross-circular, and its focus on key challenges facing the United States in general and Florida specifically. Quote, "In the field of medicine, we're looking at better medical outcomes. We're looking to bend the cost curve of medicine," close quote. Glover continues, "In agriculture, the Southeast is going to end up as the nation's food basket, and so we're investigating that. Climate change is a challenge for the state of Florida in terms of sea level rise and the changing environment, so we're trying to get a handle on that. All of these things involve huge amounts of data, and this is where the HyperGator AI really excels. Adding 100 AI-focused faculty to hundreds of other AI-using professors in an organization that graduates 10,000 students annually is a deliberate attempt to infuse artificial intelligence in everything." Glover says that even if half of those 10,000 students with AI competencies, that'll make a huge difference to the economy of Florida and the nation as a whole. The initial focus? Big picture hard problem issues like national security, food security, climate change, bringing medical costs down, and global competitiveness, especially with China, which now has more supercomputers than any other country. Creating a 21st century AI-enabled workforce. That's one of the reasons NVIDIA helped the University of Florida build the supercomputer. NVIDIA, of course, builds and sells tools for AI, and an AI-enabled workforce is one that needs more AI tools. For Headlines with a Voice, in memory of Nancy Morganhart, this is Felicia Lockhart. All right, so we saw that one. But now let's get into what my brother just sent, and that is getting a little more information on that. Who is this? Bless this lady's heart. That's not me. Goodbye. And I know it wasn't my sister, but she has a voice similar to my sister. You know, I can do a lot of people's voices, but her voice is way up here and it's like way up there. And I think for her birthday, I'm going to make sure that as if I were studying anybody that I had to do a voice over for, that I study her voice to the T so that I can do a really nice something good for her birthday. That's what I want to do. All right, so this is UF Research Computing for the University of Florida, the HyperGator. This is it. The University of Florida supercomputer is a cluster that includes the latest generation of processors and offers nodes for memory-intensive computation. HyperGator's high-performance storage systems can be accessed from diverse interfaces, including Globus, UFA apps for research and other tools. The UFIT Research Computing maintains the cluster and its many parts, allowing researchers to focus on their research instead of hardware and software maintenance. UFIT Research Computing supports a significant, that's what it says, supports a significant number of widely used applications. Our staff is happy to evaluate and explore additional applications for the University of Florida's research needs. The HyperGator 3.0 has been growing for nearly a year, adding GPU storage and new processors. HyperGator 3.0 is taking shape. The GPUs are in production. The new blue storage will replace the UFRC. And we are starting negotiations on replacement processors expected to go into production. This was this past year for 2021. So as you can see now, it's like way out there. As of last year, we'll just pass all this with 2013. No, we won't. Let's show how it went. So it said the HyperGator 1.0 is now retired. The year that it came out was 2013. Just to show its progression, it had 16,000 AMD. The RAM was 4 gigabytes. Okay, yeah, gigabytes. And in 2015, it had 30,000. That was the HyperGator 2.0. It had 30,000 Intel and 4 GB. HyperGator 3.0, January 2021. Look at this. Look at the growth. 30,720 AMD, and it also has the EPYC of 7702 ROM, 2.2 gigahertz cores at 8 GB. And in May, just 5 months later, which means the story that I read is even newer than that. So the one we just read is even higher than the one from May 2021, which was 9600 AMD, 9600 AMD. The EPYC was 75 F3 Milan and 3.3 gigahertz cores with 8 gigabytes. The total of 66,000 cores, 544 NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti GPUs, and 48 NVIDIA Quattro RTX 6000 GPUs. The Hypergator AI NVIDIA DGX A100 Super Rod. This is the one that we just read about. It's an entire room. The computer fits the entire room. The room has a computer in it. For those of us who are not really, like geek people, I wish that I were, to be honest with you, because this stuff really does fascinate me. I'm fascinated by this stuff. I'm fascinated by, obviously, the things that physicists look at, because I believe that is what they're trying to find is already known, and all the stuff that they're trying to find is to manipulate it. But they're going to open up something they ain't ready for. Okay, not talking about this, but I'm talking about one of the other things that we are working on. So 140 NVIDIA DGX A100 nodes, 17,920 AMD ROM with 7742 cores, 1120 NVIDIA Ampere A100 GPUs, 2.5 PB all flash storage. Look at that. That's literally a beast. Over 200 HDR InfiniBand and various Ethernet switches for connectivity and double precision line-back HPL 13.75 petaflops. Top 500 June 21, number 22. Green 500 June 2021, number 2. The AI floating point operations 0.7 exaflops. The latest NVIDIA GPU technology of the Ampere A100 GPU has arrived at the University of Florida in the form of 2 DGX A100 nodes, each within 8 A100 GPUs. The University of Florida is the first in the world to get to work with this technology. And if you want to know more about it, it has the website there, and it's UF Artificial Intelligence Initiative website for more information. The A100 technical specifications can be found at the NVIDIA A100 website, in the DGX A100 user guide, and at the NVIDIA Ampere developing blog. For A100 benchmarking results, please see the HPC Wire report. Now, if you remember in the story that I read, it said that Florida would be America's food basket. And for those of you who follow my work, you will remember me saying a few days ago, maybe even a week ago, that I don't believe that Florida is what everybody is making it out to be. Why? Because people who will stand up for others seem to be very temporal. And they don't necessarily seem to be who you think they are, i.e., their governor. I don't think their governor is who everybody thinks he is. That is my opinion. I just feel that way. I have not followed this man's career. I don't know anything really about him other than his name and the fact that he is their governor. But there's something that's in my gut that says that location is not where people think it really is. They're trying to move. A lot of people are going there, flooding that area, flooding it, moving there. Pardon the pun when I say flooding. But a lot of people are moving there. And I feel like in a minute, they are going to be up for a very rude awakening. Now, they said that it was going to be the nation's food basket. The nation's food basket? Which means that it's in preparation for something. How would you be able to say something's going to be America's food basket? Did you hear that part in the video? They're anticipating that particular area being America's food basket, and therefore it needs to have all of this stuff. Okay? There's a lot of people going to get out there, and I believe that people are going to get out there, and when they get out there, something's going to switch reels. And once it switch reels, people are not going to be happy. Okay? They're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. What do you guys say in the chat? Let's see. Lisa Hall says, I agree. M. Leslie says, all DeSantis is doing is fixing the mess he caused. Okay. See? And there's stuff I didn't know, so I didn't know he had some mess. I'll have to do a little more research on him. Aha, Marty. I agree, Felicia. Something in my gut feels like it's a trap. Hey, Alan Davis, you snuck up in here. My gut agrees with you. Well, I'm glad to know it. I'm glad to know it. Skynet, here we come, Ronnie Man. I did miss which area? I did. Okay, I can take you back over there if you want me to, if that's what you mean. Florida. I believe that Florida, you missed it. Let me see if we can pull the video back up, because it's very important to hear. I can actually, before I do that, instead of doing that, what I can do is I can just go and pull the link, because whenever there are stories that are like that, I do make sure that I put that kind of information in there, because I don't want anybody thinking that it's me. Here it is, the replacements. Let's see if I can get the information there. All right, let's just see. So that way, all right. All right, where's the story? There it is, right there. All right, so we can read it verbatim, because we can just do that. All right, let's clear this out and let's use this one. All right, so let's just see what it said, because it did say something specifically about it being used as the nation's food basket. But that's a big statement. Do you realize how huge that statement is, and how they sort of like slipped it in there? They just sort of slipped it in. They just sort of slipped it in. And when you're slipping something in like that, that's pretty creepy. All right, so let's just look at this. All right. In January 27th, 2021, the University of Florida's new supercomputer is the fastest artificial intelligence supercomputer in higher education. It will soon be available for students and faculty across the state university system. Let me do a find on this, and that'll help us. Control F and basket. Unless it took me to another story, which I think it did, and that's how I ended up there. NVIDIA. Let's pull up the word food, see if I can find that. All right, I'm still talking. I forgot I got to keep talking. I forgot, because we moved these over, and I have to keep talking. Not like y'all the only ones. Okay, is this it? Is this it? Let me see if I can find that word here. Let me see if the word food is in here. There it is. Food insecurity. All right. I'll put the word basket up there and see if it pulls that one. But that's what they said. And so when you figure they're using words like that, that's telling you that they are truly and honestly trying to make some moves to do some pretty nefarious things, and that they're going to shut it all down to where everybody that is buying all the land, all the seeds, and all this other stuff, they're literally going to stick everything in one location. So in order for you to make a statement like, oh yes, it will be for food insecurity, and it's going to be we believe that Florida is going to be the nation's food basket one day, and all this other stuff, that's telling me that you guys have plans for that, and you just slip that in there really, really lightly. All right. Along with an additional $20 million investment from the University of Florida, the initiative will create an AI-centric data center that houses the most powerful university-owned supercomputer in the nation. Working closely with NVIDIA, it's University of Florida, will boost the capabilities of its existing supercomputer, the Hypergator, with the recently announced NVIDIA DGX SuperPod architecture, and this will give the facility and the students within and beyond the University of Florida the tools to apply AI across a multitude of areas to improve lives, bolster industry, and create economic growth across the state. Quote, this incredible gift from Chris and NVIDIA will propel the state of Florida to new heights as it strives to be an economic powerhouse. So get a hold of this. Get a hold of this. So this is an area that is loathed, allegedly, by the left, and yet the left is involved in socialism, and this area is loathed by them, and yet this is the same area that is going to take the United States to new heights. Do you see what I mean? Let's read it again. This incredible gift from Chris and NVIDIA will propel the state of Florida to new heights. Why would you want that to be the case if this is a place where you loathe entirely its very structure? And I'm saying its structure to date. Is it because you know that cat obviously can be moved out, which he can, and then you can put in whoever you want after all of the groundwork is laid? Possibly. We're just guessing, right? All right. As it strives to be an economic powerhouse and unrivaled leader in job creation and an international model for the 21st century know-how, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said, quote, over the coming years, tens of thousands of University of Florida graduates with this unique AI-oriented background will create their futures and ours, transforming our workforce and virtually every field and every industry here in Florida and around the world. The partnership will be central to the University of Florida's vision to be a national leader in the application of artificial intelligence, including an expansive plan to elevate its reach and impact in research, teaching, and economic development. It provides a replicable framework for future public and private corporations and a model for addressing society's grand challenge through interdisciplinary collaboration. By deploying AI across the curriculum, this powerful resource will address major challenges such as rising seas, aging populations, that's a challenge, data security, personalized medicine, urban transportation, and bingo, food insecurity. The University of Florida's leadership has a bold vision for making artificial intelligence accessible across its campus, says McLuwochki. Why don't they just have regular names like Brown and Smith? Who serves as NVIDIA Fellow. What really got NVIDIA and me excited was partnering with the University of Florida, he says, to go broader still and make AI available to K-12 students, state and community colleges, and businesses. This will help address the underrepresented communities and sectors across the region where technology will have a profound positive effect. Okay, right. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would like to say that people that are rushing out there to move, slow your roll. Sometimes you may need to just sit down where you are for a second while you can see what's really going on. Yeah, that part. Because they got some plans for that region. And I'm telling you right now that in as much as you may think that it is, okay? As much as you think that it is a haven, it is not. It is not. They ain't gonna have all of that all of that mindset over there. Then they're not going to have all of that, think for yourself stuff going on. That you can't have that with AI like that. You cannot have that with AI like that. I said it. You can't. You cannot. You cannot be a free thinker and have those things are diametrically opposed. You can't have all that. Steve Willis, hello. Leaf Desi, hey. Good to see you. Yeah, get some regular names. I mean, gee willikers. Whatever happened to Smith? Whatever happened to, Brown? Smith and Brown. I've been trying to follow along here as I'm readying for my day. Always good to see everyone here. We're so glad to have you. We're so glad to have you, Steve. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, Steve. Everybody's loving on you. I can't stand New York, but I know all governments are evil wherever you go. That's right. That's absolutely right. That is right. Ronnie Man says, right, split hoof doesn't chew the cud. Yahweh says, that's a no-go. Exactly. So I do know that's what's going on. And so that's why I sort of caution everybody not to just run to the new thing. Oh, Florida. Oh, I just wish he could be the president. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Plus, they're alligators, right, R. Jones? Right? Alligators, them gators. Oklahoma, too. They have plans for Oklahoma. The bill to keep citizens from recording the police. Yes. So, you would think that, yeah, that's a bit of an issue. Where everybody is bolstering up one place and saying, yeah, go down there. Go down there. Go to that place. Move out there. They want you to move out there. Come on down here and check us out. See what we got going on. Yeah, there's a problem. That's not good. Not good at all. Let's see what this is. Let's check this out. Let's see. What is this? I've got some information. Let's see what this is. Yeah. I don't think I want to read that. It's some newsletters that I get. And every now and then I get these newsletters, and some of them are good. But let me see what this is. Flaw hasn't led to massive hacking attacks, but that doesn't mean the threat is over. I'm not really into all of the attack stuff because, when they start screaming the cyber attacks and all that other stuff, I think a lot of times that people have more information than they're leading on to. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think you got a lot more information about this than you're leading on to, than you're letting me know. So when I start saying, oh, this one was attacked and that was attacked, I'm like, wow, that was a strategic attack that would definitely benefit somebody else, not the people that they think did it. So, yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is just, we got your information, but you already have my information. What you're trying to do really is just let us know now, what you did with it. BlackBerry finds Profit Spider Access broker exploiting VMware Horizon. BlackBerry researchers found evidence correlating attacks from an initial access broker group with the exploitation of the Log4j vulnerability in VMware Horizon. That's interesting. But I think you guys would be bored. If you guys could see the stuff that I like to read, he'll be like, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta leave. She likes some really, really dirty stuff. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. Oh, yikes. Oh, my. This is amazing. This story here. Thank you for sending this. I just heard a chime, so let's see if we got something new here. This is something else. I don't even know if I want to read this. Let's go into this one, because that one right there is funny. Okay, let's see. Uh, uh. Remember when I said that some banks were going to be closing down? I was way off on when I thought they would be, because I was saying that they would start to close down last fall, and I didn't see any close down last fall. And by last fall, I mean, like, between September and, the close of the year, basically. So if you guys know of some that close, please let me know so that I'm not, so that I'm not feeling like I'm cuckoo. Because, part of me is cuckoo. But I'm just saying, if you know of somebody, of some banks that closed that I don't know about, please let me know, because I felt like banks would start closing last fall. All right. And so the story that I'm going to read right now was sent. And this one is talking about a number of banks that are closing. So there's that. Oh, I love sci-fi stuff. Love sci-fi stuff. So let's get right into this story for the banks that are closing. Okay. There we go. Let's get it. Let's get it on. Let's get down here. All right. So it says record number of U.S. banks shut down in 2021. Okay. Thank you for sending the story to me. All right. So I guess I wasn't cuckoo. I wasn't tripping. The American banking system has been a major part of the U.S. economy. However, a record number of branches closed their doors last year in 2021. Okay, thank you for the story. You validate that I was not cuckoo crazy, that what I saw was what I saw. Thanks. Whew, boy. All right. However, a record number of branches closed their doors last year in 2021. Nearly 4,000 retail units were closed, while 1,000 new openings. This brings it to a net of 2,927 branches being closed. In 2021, Wells Fargo shut down 267 branches, the most among all banks. Meanwhile, JP Morgan Chase opened most branches. Payments.com reports that the American market is now seeing an increase in mergers. UK banks are also seeing similar trends. A downward trend in branches is to be expected over the years because of the digital age. More and more transactions-oriented aspects of banking are done digitally. The banks are turning their focus towards building up their infrastructure to provide better services for their users. The digital shift is one major factor behind the closure of branches. The other serious cause of these closures is the ongoing pandemic, which has forced the banking giants to shift to online banking to assist their customers. Payment says the majority of banking accounts holders prefer online banking. That's a lie, due to the ongoing health risk in the current environment. Data has been showing that 41% of the users use mobile banking apps for transactions, and 26% prefer using their home computers. The online banking system is quicker and more efficient for users. It provides rapid data transfers and complete security. Payments report shows that over 50% prefer biometric security over passwords and PINs. While struggling to operate their brick and mortar banking branches, the increase in online banking services has bailed the banking system out of trouble. Okay, so we already know nobody is, owning the market on, cornering the market on what we know is going on here, right? We all see it. We all know it. Of course, they're going to tell you that everybody wants to do X, Y, or Z, but here's the deal. I keep referencing the last 2 years as the training ground. In March, it will be the 2-year mark. That was the training ground. These were already plans. They had to do what they had to do to see how we responded to it. And then once they figure out how we respond, then they just, flip the script, and that's where we're going to be. You understand what I'm saying? So we had all of these different branches. Tyrone. Hi, son. This is my nephew. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? I love you. I miss you, you sweet baby, you. So what they did is they just decided, hey, I know what to do. Let's just close down everything and let's just see which businesses are going to flourish. And we already have a gauge of exactly which ones are going to flourish, right? And when we figure it out, then we'll just begin to close down everything else. And this is the reason why I said that many of these businesses were going to start to close down, and many of the people who had these higher paying jobs, they were going to lose their jobs because they've already trained you on how to do what it is they want you to do, which means if you want that Popeye's chicken, you better get in this line. You're not going in here. So yeah, we're going to pay everybody in the food industry. That's how they got the votes. We're going to give everybody $15 an hour. You get 15, you get 15, you get 15. Everybody get $15 an hour. Everybody get it. Everybody like, yeah. For about a year, maybe, 8-9 months, everybody was getting that 15. It was popping up. You know what I mean? Everybody had everything going on. Everything was cool. Then all of a sudden, skirt, they stopped it all. And when they stopped it all, where did people end up going? Well, they cut hours because now we're going to just have people come through the drive-thru, and we're not going to need this tribe of 20 employees. We're going to be able to do this because we're not going to need anybody to clean up the dining room. No one is going to have to work so much at the front because we're not going to have anybody coming. So all we're really going to need is a handful of people, some of the worst, some of the worst. Put some of the worst at the window. Put some of the worst as expediters. Put some of the worst as cashiers. Let's see exactly how much abuse they can take while we have them on lockdown. Because what we need to do is we need to study and see if they took really bad service and how long did they take it and did the food sales still stay up. Make it as bad as it can possibly be. And now you have trained people how to behave with banks. You have trained people how to behave with grocery stores from the years of doing tests, having absolutely no cashiers after a certain hour of the day. Okay, they've already got those tests are done. Everything's a test. This is a test. It was a test. The past 2 years was a test to see how you would fare with not going into your bank, not saying hi or waving to the security guard that you see all the time at the bank, not saying hello to the teller that you always see, not dealing with the bankers. So what are they doing? They're really going to take everybody out of their positions and just use a small amount. And this has shown them over the past 2 years that you don't need a bank, because when the banks did open, you still didn't go to the bank. When the banks opened, you did not go back to the bank because they had already conditioned you to believe that there was enough fear for you to stay at the house. So you didn't go to the bank. No, you didn't. Because if you did, in droves, they would sort of temper it and wait a little bit. They would wait a couple of for that. Yeah, they would. Okay? So the deal is that it's Depop, and it's also to get you out of your job. It's to get you out your job. That's what it is. It's to get you out your job. Yeah, that's what it is. Here, take this 15. Hype everybody up. Get us in office. Even though we're going to get in there anyway, whether you vote for us or not, it's going to be done. We coming. So now they're saying that the number of the banks have been shut down, and the banks have been shut down because they already know that eventually there's not going to be any cash to circulate anyway. I mean, you look at most people right now, and it's always just look down below for me where it says you can drop secure chat, you go PayPal. I don't touch that. Okay, I can spend that, but I don't touch it. Cash App, I don't touch that. I can spend that, but I don't touch that. Okay? All of those, they know that everything is going in this direction. And believe it or not, unfortunately, we are assisting because that's just, hello. Yeah. Yeah. I don't touch Zelle, but I can spend it. I don't feel Zelle, but I can spend it. Light bill company takes it. So that we've really helped and assisted, but they had to do what they did over the past 2 years in order for us to be able to be trained the way that they wanted humanity to be trained. And eventually it will definitely go into this crypto world, which I really don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'm quite sure that there was people who did not get, leaving gold and using a piece of paper. Yeah, that part. I'm sure. And they are pushing mobile banking beyond compare. Inger Norman says, yes, and they are pushing mobile banking. And the screws are tightening on all of us, pushing us to their agenda. You see? Hey, disciple of the Messiah, good morning to you. Wells Fargo also, she says, Wells also eliminated several positions, then increased the job duties of those they kept. Bankers also work as tellers too as needed. Now they have an even bigger shortage of staff. Exactly. There are absolutely no cashiers at all at our local Walmart. It's now completely self-checkouts. Yeah. Yep. Peace and grace to everyone, to you as well. Yep. It's not the best idea for us. No power, no money. You see? Good morning. Everybody's loving on you there, disciple of the Messiah. Yeah. All of that. M. Leslie, when they tell you what everyone wants, they're telling you, they're really telling everyone what they want. Everyone to want. Yeah. Wells has shut down many in my area and is still shutting them down temporarily due to staffing. I believe more permanent closures will be coming. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Amy Duran, hi, honey. I saw you come in earlier and I forgot to speak. Hello. Yeah, they will. All of this is all of this. All of this is all of that. And all of that is all of this. Digital reality. Ronnie says digital reality, virtual reality, zeros and ones. Yes. Yep. So we see that. In Philadelphia, I've noticed they are knocking down many old supermarkets and buildings, building modern supermarkets in their place. And does anybody have any information on the smart cities? The smart cities, I think, were they going to be there in Arizona? Anybody know? Boy, we lost 5 people real fast. Oh, that's terrible. We literally dropped 5 folks just that fast. Wow. Whew. I mean, it was just like boom. It went 17, then jumped straight down to 12. Like, wow. Boy, I must be stinking up the place. Oh, that's a good one. Whew, that was funny. But it's like you get. Okay, we're back to 15 now. Okay, so we just missed 2. But can you imagine that? You're sitting up there on stage like, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you guys, you know how comedians be. I'm going to tell you something. And I told him the joke. And people leave and say, oh, man, he was stinking up the place. So anyway, yeah, so that's a deal. That's the deal when it comes to the banks. So the banks are shutting down. And as the Our Joseph Alicia, you ain't right. It's the truth. Okay, is this thing on? Oh, I better shut up. Because remember that time I hummed before and they got me for a copyright? And they said that I was humming somebody else's stuff. I said, wow, bless them heart, baby. Okay, it's all the script. It's all one big script and everyone is playing their part. all a bunch of actors. Actors! That's why we give highest awards to actors. And everyone bends their knees to their wishes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Actors. Enter. Anybody remember that movie? He said enter. I forgot what the name of it was, but it was the guy, Walter Matthau was in it. And he had the, oh goodness. Let me see if I can find that. I just want to show that piece. Let's see, Walter Matthau. Okay. You know, I had a dog named Walter Matthau. Yeah, we named our dog Walter Matthau. Is it this one? Enter. Let me see. Is it enter with the exclamation point? I hope this is it. Because was it with George Burns? Let's see. I guess this is it. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. I found it. Oh, mercy. And I'm going to play it just for entertainment purposes only. I am sharing this as a point of entertainment, and we are just using it to prove a point. This is not my information. This does not belong to me. I am not trying to earn anything monetarily from it. As a matter of fact, I will not monetize this video just to show you this part. That is exactly what we will do. We will not monetize. So I'm not trying to gain any money off of this. I just want y'all to see, because this is hilarious. You may or may not remember this. You may or may not know this movie, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm a nut for this kind of stuff. So let me just give you this little bitty piece right here. And here we go.
Enter.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Lord of mercy. It is fair use. It is fair use. Does anybody remember this? Knock Knock, the Sunshine Boys. They say it's 1975. But I've always found that to be hilarious. Does anybody... I mean, and I always look at that as like the funniest, because this guy was just, he's just hilarious to me. He's just hilarious. It's hilarious. I wonder if I could do it again. I just... but the most important thing to remember is that this is exactly right. It is the greatest stage on earth. And when you think about it being the greatest show on earth, the greatest stage on earth, it just takes you back to phrases like this here. Let's try it again. Let's just try it again right there. Is that where it is, or is it right there? Okay, let's take it right there. Let's just show it. Let me see what I got here. Let me let you guys hear that.
Knock. Enter.
He was literally, seriously, yes, my dog's name was Walter Matthau. You guys, let me see if I can pull up any pictures of Walter. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures of Walter Matthau. My husband took really good care of Walter, and we took him, and he lived in Mississippi with one of my in-laws, and he passed away. He passed away a couple of years ago. He did. So yeah, but Walter Matthau. My daughter found this dog, and she was, when I saw the dog the first time. Thank you for the Smart City stuff. That's her, my assistant. Thank you so much. I got it. When I first saw it, she had this doggy over her shoulder. She was literally holding this doggy like a baby, and his name was Walter Matthau. So I'm going to see right now if I can find you all some pictures of Walter, so that you could see him. But I got to go over here to my photos to see. Okay, let's see. Let's see. My photos are right there. Enter Walter Matthau. Walter Matthau. Let me see. Where is Walter? And you know what? Walter did not even know that he was a pit bull. Walter was a sweetie pie. He did not know that he was a pit bull. He didn't. He he was he was very smart. We also had a little girly dog named Duchess Dakota. Duchess Dakota was his girl, his one of his offspring. And the funny thing was, Duchess was rambunctious and she didn't care what she got involved in. She did not give two rips. She was going to do whatever she wanted to do. She was going to tear up trash. She was going to do all kinds of stuff. Anyway, my husband and I had left one day and they were both outside on the patio. It was a very nice warm day, but they were on the patio. And the patio door was one that if they nudged it, if they nudged the door, they could get in, press on it hard enough. So they learned how to press the door and then slide in. So we ended up getting back home. And when we walked into the house, Duchess had tore the entire house apart. I mean, she tore the whole place up. But Walter was smart enough to know to go sit down somewhere. So when we walked into the house, Duchess was just all like, "Hey, y'all home. Hi. We happy to see you. Yes, you're here. You're here. Whoop, whoop. Let's get on down. What you bring me? What you bring me, huh?" Man, we looked in that house, that whole trash. She had taken the trash and threw it all over the house. And then we looked over and Walter was just sitting there. He was sitting there. He was like, "Oh, no. You're not going to get me involved in any of this." I'm not going to be involved in any of this, hunty. No, I'm not. Okay, I got pictures of Walter. I'm going to show you guys Walter so that you can see it. Oh, we got some more stuff coming. I keep hearing the bell in my ear. Ting, ting. All right, so here is Walter. So you guys can see him, okay? But yeah, Walter was like, "Oh no, I'm not getting involved in none of that. She tripping." But Walter did not know that Walter was a dog. Yeah, that's what I think. Walter just didn't know. Here's Walter Matthau. There's Walter Matthau. That is Walter Matthau. You see him? That's him. Him was a sweetie. Yes, he was. He was an absolute dear. He was a dear. He was a sweetheart. He was big. He was a bigums. But he did not know that he was a pit bull at all. He didn't know. He had no clue. He would just as soon love you down, just love you, hug you, kiss you. That's what he would do. He would actually just assume to go sit down, leave you alone. Is really what he would do. Okay. All right. That's exactly what he would do. So anyway, just thought I would show you guys that. So we're having our morning. We ain't got no jazz today because I don't feel like dealing with nobody's copyright stuff. I was going to put something on, but I just don't feel like dealing with it. So we're going to go ahead and get off. Yes, we are. You had a dog named Walter Matthau. Once we had a dog named Bo, and the next 10 we named Bo too. At least your family was creative. That's him. Yeah, that was him. That was him. He was a sweetheart. He really was a sweetheart. Let me show you a couple more of him. All right, let me show you a couple more. This is him. This is his front view. Right here. This is him front view. That's him right there. He was a sweetheart. He really was. He was a gentle giant. He was huge. As you can see by the size of his head, he was huge. Now, the dog that I really want is a dogo. I want a dogo Argento. That's what I really, really want. As far as mastiffs go, he was huge, but just a sweetie pie. Oh, and he loved to drink water. Man, this dog loved to drink water. He would just sit there and drink. Walter would drink. Let me just tell you, as far as a gentle giant, he really was a lot like my husband, because my husband is a softie. He's a real sweetheart. He's a big, strong guy, but he's just quiet. And Walter matches him. Amazingly. Walter matched him really well. He was just really quiet, very loving, very giving, you know, in the kindest of heart. But Walter was just this big sweetie. And that's how he is. So they actually were very good friends. He obviously, because my husband just took the dog and loved on it. He's more attractive than the actor that dog is. So he looks better than Walter Matthau. Ooh-wee. Thank you, sis. I got all of the Smart City stuff you're sending. Whoa, this will be good. So let's see. Let me see what time it is, because you know I'm going to have to get off because it's going to be time for me to teach here. And then we've got 4 o'clock Eastern time. We've got no, just joking. We've got Dr. B is coming back, but it's the new year, so it's a good time to talk about doing some stuff. And so this show that he's doing today is called about how to detox, period. Okay, detoxing, period. And so let me show you that. I want to show you that before we leave today, because we're getting ready to get out of here. Get out of here. Yes, we are. All right. So hold on just a second. Let me see if I can pull up this. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it. There you are. Now you can see. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is it? What is this? There you go. Here it is. There it is. Now let me show you. Let me go over here. Man, there's a lot of buttons. It's a lot of buttons. A lot of buttons. A lot of buttons to push. So many buttons to push. So many miles to fly. That's not a song. Anyway, so there it is. Dr. B, serious, PhD. He's going to be dealing with mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. Now, if that does not say a lot, I don't know what does. Mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. That's coming up today at 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you are on the East Coast, please join us at 3 p.m. Bring your laugh giggle box, because he is a card. He is absolutely a card. He's hilarious. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy Dr. B. For those people who didn't get a chance to see him the last time he was here, I believe that was either at the top of December or the end of November. This is a quote unquote new wintry season. And since it's wintry season, you're going to want to make sure that you come in and you are ready to get yourself rid of the mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. Okay. Again, while we are together later today, the video that we will create is not intended to provide assessment, diagnosis, treatment, or medical advice. And it also does not constitute provision of healthcare services. The content that we will provide this afternoon in the video that we will be recording together is for informational and educational purposes only. Please consult with a physician or a healthcare professional regarding any medical or mental health related diagnosis or treatment. No information in the video should ever be considered as a substitute for advice from a healthcare professional. Please join us. That's today, 2 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, on Headlines with a Voice, as we welcome Dr. B. Serious, PhD, as we discuss the mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you. Please remember what we always say on the Lockhart Group, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves, and please remember to take care of each other. Because if you don't take care of you, how are you going to take care of somebody else? Until we see each other again, and hopefully today at 3 o'clock Central Time, Eastern Time. Yes. You guys continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way, helping you to make it through another day.
what? I'm sorry, but that track was bad. I got to hear that again. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day.